Hello, welcome back to Sentimental Pastimes. My name is Cheryl. I am working on this pink mandala from New Craft Day. I thought maybe I would sit down and chat with you a little while I'm working on it. I've got the bigger drills put on the inside and these beautiful iridescents, and they're just beautiful. And I'm working on these blues, teal color, kind of aqua. Okay, teal aqua. It's more blue, so it's teal, right? Anyway, I get those mixed up all the time. So how are you? Everything going okay in your world? Everything is okay here. Having some spring weather. Still a little chilly at night. It was about 36 when I woke up this morning. But it's going to be 67 today, which is very, very nice. Sun is shining. Not a cloud in the sky. Beautiful day. I love spring in the mountains. Is spring pretty where you are? If you're in the northern hemisphere, I know some of you are in the southern hemisphere, which means it is the beginnings of fall where you are. I can't even imagine. Can't even imagine. So we had daylight savings time start recently. And everybody's complaining. You know, it's a tradition in this country, and I just think that some traditions need to stay put. There are pros and cons to it. I understand, and times have changed. That started because of the farmers and them needing the extra daylight, you know, for the farming industry. And I understand that may not be a concern, you know, anymore, or relatively smaller, less significant concern these days. But I'm all for tradition, and it's just something they've already moved it back, and moved it back, and moved it back. So, you know, I do look for them to do away with it. But until that day, we'll just continue to do it. But the spring one, I struggle with. There's no glue on this one side, it seems. They've kind of missed. But that's not a big deal. I'll just glue them down. But the spring one is the hardest one for me to, you know, adjust to. The fall one I love. I love falling back. Spring forward, I have a little bit more trouble with losing that hour, you know, and trying to you know, and it doesn't only affect us, it affects the animals. You know, my dogs you know, they like to be fed at the same time every day, and they don't care what's on the clock. They just know it's time to eat, you know, and so it takes everybody a little adjusting. But like I said, it's always been that way since I've been here, and everybody has complained about it my whole life. I've heard the same arguments, and so that's not going to go away unless it's done away with. People gripe. I gripe. In the spring, I love the fall one, though. I love when it's cold outside and snuggling in and getting that extra hour that night to, you know, just enjoy hibernating. So do you like it, or do you think it's outdated and should go away? If it's the latter, I totally understand, and, you know, I respect that. I guess, you know, it gets harder as you get older when you tend to watch so much of the way things were go away, that's just one more thing that they're, you know, potentially doing away with. You know, it's just one more thing that you lose. Each little thing that you lose is just, it gets rather sad at a point, you know, when you lose so much of what you're accustomed to. It feels like your roots are being plucked away bit by bit. That's a part of growing, though. Growing, the only thing consistent is change, right? Things change. People change. The world changes. Sometimes you just want to dig your heels in and say, no, no more change. Let's leave things alone for at least a while before we go and change things up again. There's so much of this world that my grandparents, even my parents wouldn't even recognize at this point. There is some glue missing right in this area of the inner circle here. So I'm going to have to go back and glue, put a little drop of glue in there. It's no big deal. It happens sometimes. But it's looking beautiful so far. I love this color, whatever it is. The birds are singing. And it's funny because Sophie, I have a tuxedo cat, and she sits up in the window during the day and watches the birds. And I'm telling you, I do believe they tease her. I do believe they tease her, because she will sit there and chatter at them and chatter, and they'll get, I've watched them, they land right on the banister of the porch outside, which is right in front of her face, and they'll ruffle their feathers and sing, you know, and make noise. And I can't tell you how many times that she has lunged at them and bumped her head on the window. It's hysterical. And then she'll look at me like, what? You know, like, I meant to do that, Pee Wee Herman. I mean, she is so funny. I do believe those birds tease her, though. They know she's sitting there. They have to. She'll eventually get tired of not being able to get to them, so she'll go lay down somewhere else. But it's funny to listen to her with that little chatter that she does, talking to them, as if to say, if I could get out of here, you wouldn't be teasing me. You better be thankful I'm behind this glass. And the ducks are back. There's a couple, a drake and a hen. They cross the road every day to get to the neighbor's bird feeders. They get beneath the, you know, get the seeds that the birds have knocked out of the feeders. And then they'll go all along the yard looking for worms, you know. And it's so funny. I was telling my husband, the drake will stand guard while the hen eats every time. He'll stand there and watch. You know, he very seldom eats himself. He's always watching for her. And when she says it's time to go, she'll just waddle off and he'll waddle right behind her. It's so funny, the dynamic, you know. But they like getting those seeds off the ground and just watching them. But when I know they're getting ready to cross the road again, I stop watching, because I mean, we had a drake of a mating couple. She had already laid her eggs, and he got hit out here a couple years ago, and it was awful. It was awful, because I live on a road that's straight. It's a straight stretch, and people will hit this straight stretch and just give it the gas, and it's awful. I know if you've been with me a while on my other channel, you know about the duck situation. But I always, you know, I love watching them, and I love seeing them every spring. But then my excitement turns to dread, because I'm just hoping that they'll make it. Because, you know, ducks, mallards mate for the season. So, you know, when he was killed, she had already had her eggs. She was on her nest. She actually got hit too, but it just kind of bumped her. And they were walking together across the road back to the creek, and when they were both hit. But he got the worst end, and but she remained on her nest and hatched her babies that year. And then, you know, once they hatch, we don't see very much of them. She takes them elsewhere. But they know there's food here every day, so they tend to nest here. At least one couple does. And there's all kinds of mourning doves over there at the feeders. They mate for life, and they'll pair up. It's interesting watching them too, because they're bigger birds, you know. They're beautiful. We had one of them get hit, and its mate just grieved. It would sit on that fence and just, it didn't repair. I don't think that, well, the rest of that season anyway, I didn't see. It was you know, the only single dove over there. Sad, but they're beautiful to watch. It's just, man just intercedes so much. But everybody's flirting, and everybody's, you know, pairing up. And it's just a beautiful time when the world wakes back up. Now in the summer, I'll be longing for winter again. I don't like heat. Do not like the heat. I'd rather be cold than hot, because you can only take so much off. You can always put more on, but you can only take so much off. Legally, right? You know, and I'm a big girl anyway, so that makes it worse. That's my own fault. But I do like getting outdoors, and it doesn't get very overly hot here. It's if we get a 90-degree day, you know, that's very seldom. do we get up to 90, and hardly ever over that. Maybe once or twice in the summer we'll get over 90, briefly for an hour or two. But the majority of the time we're in the, you know, upper 80s on the hottest days. So I don't have as much right to complain as other people, because I know it's a lot hotter in parts of the country, parts of the world, than it is here. But it's still hot. My sister loves summer. She is a summer girl. She loves getting out, going places and doing things in the summer. She hates winter, and I get tickled at her. I tell her she cannot complain about being hot in the summer. Not the first time. Because she complains all winter. And I'm the opposite. We have 4 good seasons here. 4 good seasons. Fall. Now, the leaves don't last the entire season. They turn, you know, relatively slowly. But once they turn, in 2 weeks, they're gone. Once they fully turn, it's like the wind comes, and that's it. That's 2 weeks. My son was talking about, you know, visiting during the fall, and it's so hard for him to schedule work because, you know, he'll schedule when he thinks that the leaves are going to be full out, and then, you know, by the time that time comes, they're already on the ground. So I went to Vermont one year with my family, and we were going up there to see the leaves, you know, in New England in the fall. And of course we missed it. We missed it because we, you know, booked it. You have to book your lodging, you know, so far ahead when you go on vacation like that, and you have to anticipate and look at the almanac and try to figure out, you know, when they're going to be at peak, and we missed it. So my husband and I are a lot more flexible now, so hopefully that's definitely on my bucket list. I do want to be in New England in the fall, at least once in my life. I'm almost all the way around here with these. One drill at a time. I've taken my time and just listening to how it sounds, how the pen sounds when it lets go of the drill, and the quiet. It's very, very relaxing. Nope, I'm not putting you to sleep though. What are you working on? Do you have a WIP out that you're working on? I was cross-stitching earlier this morning and met a goal that I had for myself. So I think I'm going to diamond paint for a little while. I've been working on a huge one. Well, it's big. It's, I think, a 60 by 80, I think. Maybe 50 by 60, I don't know. But it's my Chuck Pinson Simple Country. I'll show you what it looks like. But I've been working on that one all month. I started it around the first of the month, and I like working on it in the evenings. If I get time, I like to work on these smaller ones during the day. Yep, that whole inner circle there is missing glue. Sparkle is so pretty. One more. Then I have this whole ring around the inside to put in this color. The good thing is they give you so many extra drills. If there's problems, you'll have plenty. You know, if you get one that's a little misshapen or missing the silver backing, you'll have plenty to compensate for that one. I'd probably get this one finished today if it wasn't for that glue issue. These usually take an afternoon. I can finish one up. They're partial, so it's not fully covered, and they're small. Where that one came from. I know you can't see what I'm talking about, but anyway, there we go. Got all the way around with that. These two are not sticky. Well, that one's not enough stick. So I'm going to continue to work on this one today. And there's where we are. See, these is what I just finished in this teal color around there. So I'm going to continue to work on this one today, and I will come back and show you what it looks like finished. Again, this is from New Craft Day. It will be linked below, as well as their site. So until I see you again in a few minutes for you, but probably hours for me, I'll be right back. So here is the finished product. I wanted to show you how it sparkles. It is so pretty. I love these pointed ends and the white right here. These are beautiful. This whole center part right here. I just love it. Now I did have to glue down a lot of this because what happened when the canvas went through the machine that put the glue down, it was off. You know, like this section here was supposed to be a teardrop, and the teardrop is over here instead of under the, you know, around the shape. So I'm not sure if it was just this particular canvas that got off in the manufacturing process, or if they're, you know, all of these canvases that are like this or like that. But all I did was I put my art glitter glue. This is just an all-purpose glue, and it dries clear. I just put a little tiny dot where I needed to put a drill. It was no big deal at all. But it is just gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. It just sparkles and shimmers. So, yep. Thank you, New Craft Day. That is absolutely beautiful. So, until I see you again, happy diamond painting.